and welcome to the first installment of the Friday Night Frights series of reviews that I will be having on my channel. This is actually a bigger project and it is organized by Claire at the Book Fox, and a bunch of YouTubers, including myself, will be watching a horror movie every week, and every Friday we'll be posting reviews of the movie that we've selected to watch. This actually takes me back to my junior high, beginning of high school years, when me and my best friend every Friday night would go either to her house or to my house and watch horror movies. And the funny thing about that was that she didn't really like horror movies. It was just a torturous thing that I was submitting her to every week, and she just put up with it for a long time. So this project takes me back to those times and it makes it even more fun. Anyway, enough said about that. The first movie, or actually franchise, that everyone is watching is the Evil Dead franchise, and we started with the first movie, The Evil Dead, that came out in 1981, and that is the one that I'm going to be reviewing today. The franchise of The Evil Dead has 3 original movies and a remake that was done in 2013, and I have seen the first Evil Dead movie before this project. I've seen it the first time, I think I was about 12, maybe a little older, like 13, but probably not older than 13. I remember that I had heard so many things about it, how it was like one of the best horror movies out there and a masterpiece, and I had such high expectations of it. And I remember that I was taken a little aback by how comical I found it. Like there was gore in it, but it wasn't scary. Like Friday the 13th, for example, scared the shit out of me when I was like 12, and I imagined Evil Dead to be something like that. I imagined all 80s movies to be like that, and The Evil Dead just completely surprised me like that, but that does not mean that I didn't like it. I couldn't remember much about it when I started watching it now. I remember the gist of it, but I didn't exactly remember everything. But I think thinking back, I had the same similar experience with it, except that it didn't surprise me how comical it was anymore, but I wasn't scared at all. But anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about the plot in case you don't know what it's about, and then I'll tell you more about what I felt about it and a little more about the movie itself. The plot of The Evil Dead is pretty simple. It follows 5 friends that go to spend a vacation in a cabin in the woods. None of them has actually seen the cabin before, and when they get there and start exploring the cabin, they find some weird looking utensils and a book that looks really weird and has these weird creepy drawings in it, and a tape recorder. And when they start listening to the tape, they find out that the book is actually the Book of the Dead, and they accidentally listen to some incantation on that tape that wakes up demons, and these demons start possessing these group of friends, and it all gets very gory and mayhemy very soon. So The Evil Dead is a cult horror movie. One of the most spectacular things about this movie, and the thing that everyone talks about when it comes to The Evil Dead, is that it was made on an extremely low budget in an era where there was no such things as computer generated effects, and because of that, the movie is so highly appreciated, and that is one of the reasons I really appreciated this movie, because it is just incredible how much they were able to achieve with very little budget. And I was reading some of the trivia online, like on Wikipedia and on IMDb about it, and it was hilarious. For the demonic eyes, when the characters were being possessed, apparently they used these thick lenses that were so thick they could hurt your eye if you wore them for longer than 10-15 minutes. So they couldn't shoot the scenes for longer than 10 or 15 minutes. They had to take the lenses out, clean them out, and then put them back in to be able to do those shots. Or the force, like the evil force that was in the woods, the unseen force that's in the woods, to be able to get those shots, they would tie the camera to a stick and they would run with the camera in the woods to try to get the camera shake effect. One of the most ridiculous ones I read was that to obtain the sound effect of like flesh, cutting flesh, people were stabbing dead chickens in the background like that is hilarious. That just shows that you can put so much effort and accomplish so much without budget. Like there's so many movies today that have a lot of money in their budget and use a lot of effects, and still they just fall really flat. But this one, I wouldn't call it a great horror movie, but the fact that it was put together into a decent horror movie and with this much creativity and ingenuity, like for me that makes it worth appreciating. Speaking of how much it was able to accomplish on a low budget, it actually was awarded the Saturn Award for the best low budget film. So that says something. So to try to wrap it up, I do think that The Evil Dead is worth seeing, especially by horror movie fans. If you're a horror movie fan, you should check it out. I can't speak for the whole franchise because I haven't seen it, but at least the first movie, just to kind of get the idea of what could be accomplished without effects and without a lot of money. I am excited to continue the franchise because I do hear that this one was the most serious out of all of them. The other ones are more comical. They're actually labeled as comedy horror and The Evil Dead isn't. That sounds interesting because I actually, like I said, found The Evil Dead to be a little comical, and I'm curious to see what the other ones are that they're actually labeled as comedies. And I really want to check out Ash vs. The Evil Dead, the series that came out on Starz, I think last year or 2 years ago. This is pretty much it for my review of The Evil Dead, the 1981 version. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know down below if you've seen it, especially if you are also taking part in the Friday Night Frights project. And really looking forward to the second installment in the franchise, and I will see you next Friday with my review of that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great spooky Friday night. Bye!